Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting story. It's about a small Texas town that's right on the edge of a huge transformation. We're talking about Caddo Mills, and we're going to break down the city's official game plan for handling some seriously explosive growth. So, let's dive right in.
So just imagine for a second your quiet little community suddenly becomes this major hotspot for development. What happens next? Is there a plan in place, or is it just chaos? Well, that's the big question that the folks in Caddo Mills are tackling head-on right now.
And just to give you an idea of the sheer scale of what we're talking about, check out this number. The city's own projections are frankly staggering. Caddo Mills had just over 1,600 people back in 2020. By 2070, that number could hit 17,000. That's a tenfold increase. I mean, how do you even begin to prepare for that?
Now, growth like this is, a classic double-edged sword. It's an incredible opportunity for the economy, for sure, but it also throws down a massive challenge. How do you grow and expand without completely losing the unique character that makes the town special in the first place?
And listen, this isn't just some far-off prediction. This change is happening right now. It's gotten so much attention that the Dallas Morning News has already slapped the Boomtown label on Caddo Mills, putting a real spotlight on just how fast this community is changing.
So what is the plan? Well, the city isn't just sitting back and letting things happen. No, they are getting out ahead of it. Their roadmap is called the 2040 Comprehensive Plan. It's this super detailed document they adopted back in March of 2023, and it lays out the long-term vision.
And the heart of that vision, and this is straight from the plan itself, is all about finding a balance. It's a promise, really, to welcome new growth while at the same time protecting what the community already has. The big idea here is being proactive, not reactive.
And here's the thing. This plan wasn't just cooked up in some back room. It was built on feedback directly from the community. A steering committee of local leaders and residents laid out what they wanted to see: more shopping and entertainment, a real investment in the historic downtown, and this one's huge, making sure the infrastructure, roads and utilities, gets built before all the new houses pop up.
Okay, so a plan is really just a piece of paper until you start putting it into action, right? So let's take a look at how Caddo Mills is actually turning these big ideas into real-world decisions.
And this was a big one. In a meeting in January 2026, the City Council took a massive step. They approved annexing and rezoning over 112 acres right there along the I-30 corridor. This move sent a crystal clear signal that the city's being very intentional about where this new development goes.
And this decision is a perfect example of that strategy. So, before, this land was pretty much just set aside for commercial use and some low-density housing. But now, after the rezoning, it's a mix of things: multifamily residential, commercial spots, and even some light industrial. This directly hits those goals from the plan for more housing options and creating a local job base.
All right, you're going to see this term planned development, or PD district, pop up a lot in the city documents. So what the heck is it? Well, think of it like a custom-made zoning blueprint. Instead of having one zone just for houses and another just for shops, a PD lets a developer create one big, cohesive community that mixes all those things together thoughtfully. It's really the city's go-to tool for making sure that large-scale growth is actually well-designed.
But hey, the plan isn't only about these massive new developments. It's also about supporting the local economy and the businesses that are already a part of the community.
So let's see what the Caddo Mills Economic Development Corporation has been up to. Just in the first couple months of 2026, they did 3 key things. First, they gave a grant to help out a local business that's been there for 40 years, Cartown Motors. Then, they finalized a land deal to bring in new stores. And they teamed up with a company called The Retail Coach to actively go out and find the kinds of businesses residents have been asking for. It's a strategy that works on multiple levels. And, sometimes managing growth is about the smaller stuff. At that same January meeting, the council tweaked its rules to make it easier to get approval for minor changes to property layouts. Now, I know that sounds a little boring, but it's actually a really practical way to cut down on red tape and help good projects move along faster, without lowering standards. So the plan is definitely in motion, and things are moving fast. But as you can imagine, managing a boomtown is a marathon, not a sprint. So let's take a quick look at what's on the road ahead.
When you see it laid out on a timeline like this, you really get a sense of the momentum. I mean, from adopting the big plan in 2023 to these major project approvals and new partnerships just a few years later, you can see a clear, consistent pattern.
They're systematically working through the goals they laid out in their vision.
And that work is nowhere near finished. A peek at recent city council agendas shows they're already talking about improving city parks, there's a potential annexation of another 180-plus acres for housing on the table, and they're still reviewing development standards and pushing to bring in those things everyone wants, like grocery stores and restaurants.
So here's the big takeaway. The transformation of Caddo Mills is not happening by accident. It's the direct result of a deliberate, public, long-term plan. The city is using that comprehensive plan as its North Star to make intentional choices about its future.
The story of Caddo Mills is still being written every day. From protecting its historic roots to building brand new neighborhoods, every single decision shapes what comes next. As this boomtown keeps on growing, the choices made right now will be felt for generations to come. So, what do you think should be next on the to-do list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.